Please rise for the pledge. Leslie, roll call, please.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to know that Councilor Richards reached out to me and he will be absent due to a personal medical related issue.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Bronson,
Present.
Councilor Hagee,
Present.
Councilor Sanchez,
Here.
President Pro Tem Thorstad,
Here.
Mayor Coleman,
Present.
Councilor Augsburger.
Here. Let the record show that we have 6 present and 1 absent. Moving on to the consent agenda. Within the consent agenda, we have 3 sets of minutes. Anytime you would like to pull something from the consent agenda to be discussed, you may. Otherwise, somebody could make a motion to approve all.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cecily, please call for a vote.
Councilor Hagee,
Yes.
Councilor Sanchez,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Thorstad,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman,
Yes.
Councilor Augsburger,
Yes.
Councilor Bronson.
Yes.
Let the record show that we have 6 yeses and 1 absent. Moving on, recognition of visitors and hearing of petitions. We have 1 individual who has signed up to speak. Regina Hayes, please come forward, state your name and your address for the record into the microphone.
Name's Regina Hayes. I live at 550 Fifth Avenue, Sweet Home, Oregon. My problem is with Fifth and Elm. We have children who go to Oak Heights, and we have kids who just go across the street, and the parents and the teachers go up those streets on Fifth as fast as they can. It should be either 15 or 20 miles an hour, and they speed. I actually had to pull a kid back today, and they almost got hit. It was so scary. And then on Elm, right there, there's a set of stop signs. They don't stop. They just pile right on through. They don't care if anybody's coming or not. If they do stop, it's called a California stop, which really isn't a stop. You're supposed to stop, look all ways, and then, but with all them kids there, somebody's going to die. Yeah, because it's cold, it's wet, it's icy. And the kids don't know to stop because they're so young, and there's nobody there to cross them. All these other schools have crosswalks, people, but not them.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Madam Mayor, that is noted, and we do have a traffic officer, and I will inform that person to run some traffic in the area and see if we can get that to stop.
And maybe I'm not sure this is out of line or not. Should we consider a school zone, or is that something that should be discussed at good of the order? So
Probably are good at the order.
yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is old business. We have none. So next item is new business. Mayoral action, board, committee, and commission liaison appointments. So every 2 years, the counselors are appointed to committees, and I'm just going to go over this. Thank you to those who reached out to me to express the interest that they had in different committees. Please note that there is a council work session that's going to happen on February 18th regarding committees, where we will review the purpose of committees, the roles of counselors on committees, and discuss the committees we currently have. And between all the committees that we have right now, there are 13 seats for council to fill, so most counselors will be appointed to 2 committees. Currently, we have an ad hoc committee on arts and culture, and that's an ad hoc committee, so it's temporary, and so we will be closing that for now. And at that meeting, we can discuss if another committee would need to be opened, but that one will be closed for now. The next committee is Admin, Finance, and Property Committee, and Councilor Thorstad was on the committee. Now Pro Tem Thorstad will stay on that committee. Councilor Augsburger will be appointed to that committee, and I will join that committee. Community Health Committee, Councilor Bronson will be on that one. Library Advisory Board, Councilor Augsburger has requested that one. Park and Tree Committee, Councilor Heggie has requested that one. Public Traffic and Safety Committee, I'm going to keep President Pro Tem Thorstad and Councilor Richards on that one. And it's important, as in the work session, we were discussing the regional committees that we have the opportunity for councilors to sit on and to represent our community on. I'm assigning to those regional committees that are outside of city limits. I'm going to appoint a councilor and an alternate in case somebody is unable to attend. They can reach out to the alternate to attend. Area Commission on Transportation, Councilor Sanchez. I'm going to keep you on that one since that's your wheelhouse there. And the alternate will be Councilor Bronson and Council of Governments. Councilor Bronson is going to be on that one, and the alternate will be Councilor Sanchez. The Chamber of Commerce, I'm going to switch that from Pro Tem Thorstad to Councilor Hagee. And the Solid Waste Advisory Council is going to be Councilor Richards. I am going to be opening up the Charter Review Committee. So I just want to read some things regarding the Charter Review Committee. It's considered an ad hoc committee of 7 individuals who are charged with assessing and recommending changes to the Sweet Home Charter. The charter serves as the foundational legal document that outlines the structure, powers, duties, and organization of the municipality's government. The primary function of the committee is to review the current charter to ensure its effectiveness, relativeness, and in compliance with current laws and community needs. So there are specific points that I'm asking the committee to review, but that's is not limited to these points, but these are things that I'm asking the committee to review. And that's the mayoral role, the term, the appointment, council members, term of office and dates, reading of ordinances, filling council vacancies, oath of office, management of city attorney, municipal judge, quorum definition, clarify agenda setting process. So typically, a charter review committee is composed of appointed members who are often experienced in government or public service. And for the city of Sweet Home, historically, the charter review committee has consisted of 2 current city councilors and 2 former city councilors, and then 3 community members. I really wanted to have more community involvement in this committee, so I've restructured that to be 1 current councilor, 1 former councilor, and 5 community members. The process will be that once this is announced and opened, the committee members will be reached out to, and the committee itself will decide on when their meetings will be happening. And the counselor who will chair the committee will discuss those things and plan those things out with the committee. So after the committee reviews all of the things on the list, they will present a recommendation to the city council, and then the city council will either approve or send it back to committee. And then if the council decides that the recommendations need to go before the voters, that's how that process would work. So in regards to that, the counselors who are, or the people that are going to be on that committee, I wrote them down and then I lost it. We will have Gary Jarvis, who happens to be with us. He is a community member who is very interested in things like this, and I'm appointing him to the committee. Melanie Jones, also another community member. I've reached out to school district representatives, so Kristen Adams has agreed to be on the committee, and Mike Reynolds, who works at CTC, has served time on the Sweet Home School District Board. And wow, I had them all written down, deleted it. So I said Mike, I said Katie or Kristen, I said Melanie, and Gary. And Councilor Pro Tem, I'm sorry, I'm going to mess up your title still. President Pro Tem Thorstad will be chairing the committee. And former Councilor Gorley, Lisa Gorley is on the committee. Is that 7? That's 6. I do have one more. Well, I'll come back to that. So when we go to over committees and reports, I will come back to that and I will let you know who the 7th one is. Next item on the agenda is request for council action, resolution number 1 for 2025, appropriating funds.
Madam Mayor, Council, good evening. This RCA is before you because most recently in December of 2024, the library received a donation in the amount of $355,695.70. And as we were putting this into the fund, Director Daisy had told me that we should have approximately $800+ plus $1,000 in there, and to be exact, $856,000 in there. But that wasn't in the fund. And so we did some digging. And at some point, we learned in 2022, there was some restructuring when Pro Tem Worcester was our city manager at that time of the city funds. And that donation somehow got appropriated in a different line item. And so basically, that is the challenge that we have before us. And we just want to put it into the correct line item so that it's under the library fund so that they can use it appropriately in the future. So there's no anticipated financial impacts from this. There will be a total of $856,000 in that fund at this point to be used for capital outlay. And obviously, one of the main reasons we want to do this is obviously to make it right with the library fund, but also we have audits that we go through, and we just want to make sure that all of our line items match up. So staff's recommendation at this point, obviously, is to put that money back, appropriated back into the correct fund so that they're whole. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from counselors? I just want to thank staff for noticing that and making it right. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved as recommended.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve appropriation of the funds as proposed. Cecily, please call for a vote.
Counselor Sanchez,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Thorstad,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman,
Yes.
Counselor Augsburger,
Yes.
Counselor Bronson,
Yes.
Counselor Hagee.
Let the record show that we have 6 ayes and 1 absent to approve resolution number 1 for 2025. Next item on the agenda, request for council action, resolution number 2 for 2024, calling for an election renewing the police services levy.
Yeah, good evening again, Madam Mayor and Council. As you recall, we had a work session recently regarding the library levy and the police services levy. Particularly right here for resolution number 2, we are calls for an election on May 20th, 2025 to submit to the voters of Sweet Home to submit renewing the existing 5-year police services operating levy. It is noteworthy that this levy is important for critical police emergency dispatch services, and it is asking for no increase for the current tax rate. So it's going to remain the same. The tax rate will be. So the existing police services levy funds the police department and dispatch services. It's going to expire on June 30th of 2026. The current levy provides a tax rate of $7.85 per 1,000 of assessed property value, which has been essential for maintaining those services in our community. So again, the purpose here is renewing the levy for an additional 5 years, and the proposed renewal maintains the current tax rate with no increase to property owners, making it a continuation of the existing funding. So staff recommends the approval of resolution number 2 for 2025. And if there's any questions regarding that, I am happy to answer that.
Any questions from counselors? Entertain a motion.
So moved as recommended.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2 for 2025. Cecily, please call for a vote.
President Pro Tem Thorstad,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman,
Yes.
Counselor Augsburger,
Yes.
Counselor Bronson,
Yes.
Counselor Hagee,
Yes.
Counselor Sanchez.
Let the record show that we have 6 ayes and 1 absent to approve resolution number 2 for 2025. Next item on the agenda, request for council action, resolution number 3 for 2025, calling an election renewing the library services levy.
Yeah, Madam Mayor and Council, this is very similar to the last in that the current library levy is due to expire June of 2026. This renewal that we're asking for to be put on the ballot would be for continued funding at the current tax rate with no increase to the property owners. So the purpose here is just renewing this library levy for another 5 years from July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2031 at the same tax rate of $1.17 per 1,000 of assessed tax value. So with that being said, staff recommends the approval of resolution number 3 for 2025 for that to be put on the May ballot. And we're happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions from counselors? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
So move as recommended.
Second.
You got it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 3 for 2025.
Mayor Coleman,
Yes.
Counselor Augsburger,
Yes.
Counselor Bronson,
Yes.
Counselor Hagee,
Yes.
Counselor Sanchez,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Thorstead.
Yes.
Let the record show that we have 6 yeses and 1 absent to approve resolution number 3 for 2025. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, request for council action, resolution number 4 for 2025, appointing a budget officer.
Madam Mayor, councilors, this is resolution number 4 for 2025. It fulfills the city's obligation under the Oregon local budget law by appointing a budget officer for the upcoming fiscal year of 2025 to 2026. So basically, this just ensures that the city is remaining compliant with state requirements. So ORS 294331 actually mandates that City Council appoint a budget officer or designate one by charter for each budget cycle. So with that being said, this resolution formally appoints our finance director as the budget officer for the next fiscal year. So with that being said, staff recommends the approval of resolution number 4 for 2025 for appointing our finance director as the budget officer for the next budget year. And I'm happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Any questions of counselors? I will entertain a motion.
So move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Cecily, please call for a vote.
Counselor Augsburger,
Yes.
Counselor Bronson,
Here.
Counselor Hagee.
Yes.
I'm sorry, here or yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Counselor Sanchez,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Thorstead,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman.
Yes. Let the record show that we have 6 yeses and no nays and 1 absent to approve resolution number 4. Moving on, request for council action, resolution number 5 for 2025, appointing a city manager pro tem.
Madam Mayor, council, this resolution number 5 for 2025 appoints a new city manager pro tem to ensure continuity of leadership here at the city. Just a little background and charter requirements. Under the Chapter 6, Section 20E of the Sweet Home City Charter, the City Council is required to appoint a city manager pro tem during the interim while seeking a permanent city manager. The charter also stipulates that no city manager pro tem may serve longer than 6 months in that role. And so I've been in that role, and my term is to expire on, I started August 8th of last year, and my term will expire on February 7th. So that is why this is before you, because that's coming up pretty quickly. The resolution appoints Cecily Hope Pretty, currently serving as our Assistant City Manager Pro Tem and Admin Services Director, to the new City Manager Pro Tem role effective February 8th of 2025. And Cecily would serve in this capacity until a permanent city manager is appointed or another city manager pro tem is selected, with a maximum term of 6 months as required by the charter. So with that, staff recommends the approval of resolution number 5 for 2025, appointing Cecily Hope Pretty as city manager pro tem. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions council may have.
Counselors have any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Cecily, please call for a vote.
Counselor Bronson,
Yes.
Counselor Hagee,
Yes.
Counselor Sanchez,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Thorstad,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman,
Yes.
Counselor Augsburger.
Yes.
Let the record show that we have 6 yeses, no nays, and 1 absent to approve resolution number 5 for 2025. Moving on to reports of committees. I'm going to make amends now to Jeff Parker, as I forgot his name earlier. He will be assigned to the Charter Review Committee. He's served on the Planning Commission previously, so has some experience. So I just want to make sure that Cecily has that on the record. Any reports from committees besides the ones that are within our document? There's a couple minutes listed there. Thank you for including those in our packet. Moving on, department reports. There are some department reports that are in our packet, but are there any department directors who would like to highlight anything from their reports?
I would just like to add, I supplied a report to you, and that's kind of in the wake of all the work that we did by adding supplemental section oxygen to our wastewater plant. I just want you guys to focus when you look at the report. If you take the time on pages 4 through 6, it talks about CBOD, it talks about ammonia reduction. If you look at past analysis versus the difference after we install those, you can see some differences. So I just want to point those out so you don't have to read the whole document, but it just kind of indicates that the work that we did has made the plant more efficient in its operation. So if you have any questions, I'd be free to answer those.
Any questions from counselors? Okay. Any other department directors like to highlight anything from their reports? Thank you. Planning and Building Manager report. Appreciate that as well in there. Reports of city officials. City managers report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. I just have a couple of things in there. Just wanted to provide just a brief update regarding the grant funding that you appropriated to FAC. We did have a deadline of April, I think the end of April, to get the housing in there. The housing showed up already. It's being put in, and it's looking really good over there. And so I just want to thank you for that. And I want to thank Public Works for some of the work that they've done over there to get that ready. So it's looking really good. So just wanted to give you an update on that. As well, I wanted to highlight just a recent step that I've taken to improve communication in the city. I know that that has been not only a value for staff, but for council as well. And one of the things that I've done here recently is written a formal policy or procedure as it relates to, it mainly relates more to Public Works. So when we as a city go out and do work in a particular area, whether it be a neighborhood or, for instance, recently on 13th Avenue, where we put the one-way in, one of the things that we want to do is contact and make contact with our stakeholders in the area. And so that can be physical contact, knocking on a door. It could be door hangers. It could be a combination of all of those to include social media. So anyway, the policy that I wrote requires some advanced notification, some personalized outreach, multiple communication channels, and as well as some built-in transparency and accountability. So I just wanted you all to know that I did put something formal in place so that when we do some work in the area, that we can just make sure that we're checking our boxes, that we are communicating and notifying the public. So another thing I just wanted to bring up was, I know that we were supposed to have headshots tonight. We had to pivot because of the TSP work session. I have to apologize. I don't have a date for those yet, just because we have so many work sessions coming up, and I want to be mindful of all of your time. And so that's pushed out a little ways. It's still on my list, and so we'll get those done eventually, but we're just kind of in a bit busy season right now. So I just want to thank you for your patience and for all of the work that you all are doing with these work sessions. I know it's your time is valuable, so I appreciate that. And that's about it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The mayor's report, I just want to highlight some things. First of all, thank you so much for coming up with that notification policy. I think communication is something that we've discussed a lot here, and we'd like to make sure we're continually improving on communication. So thank you for that. The Chamber of Commerce banquet is happening not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday. And I think it'll be a great event. At that event, President Pro Tem Thorstad will be representing me, as I will not be able to be there. So I thank you for stepping in for that. And as I'm out of town, he can be a point of contact for people. I also want to point out that the Sweet Home School District and myself have been working on a pilot project to increase literacy rates in the city of Sweet Home. And last week we had 7 volunteers come to the school district office and to receive some training on how to read to students. And they're working with those volunteers to get them connected with teachers, specific teachers. We're kind of in the pilot program right now, but I just thought I'd make you all aware of that. If you know anybody who would care about children and helping our children in our community read better, you can reach out to me or reach out to the school district office. They're calling it the Sweet Home Early Literacy Project. So just exciting stuff happening there as we help those in our community. Moving on, council business for the good of the order. Any counselors have business that it benefits our community?
Madam Mayor, may I? So there's a couple things. For clarification purposes, the work session that we're going to have, you said on the 18th or the 19th for charter review or committee discussion. Was that based upon the consensus that we had last city council meeting for the verbiage discussion that I have submitted to Attorney Blair? Is that what this work session is for?
So for the charter review, we actually have February 11th tentatively scheduled for
Oh,
that.
good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because the Lynn County clerk said that we have until March 20th to submit language in a timely fashion to be presented on the ballot. So I think we have about 5 or 6 weeks, hopefully, to work through that if we can get that at the same time. Secondly, I'm so proud of Adam for coming to the Capitol today. We had League of Oregon Cities Day at the Salem Capitol, and Adam showed up. He advocated for Sweet Home. He talked to representation about how to receive resources for our community. The chief is already working on filling out those documents, and I just was so happy to see him there representing Sweet Home. So thank you for showing up.
Any other council business for the good of the order?
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Chief Ogden for stepping up these last 6 months and really filling a hole when the city needed it, and just appreciate that.
Me too. I do want to mention or come back to the public comment that was made regarding around Oak Heights. Do we have school zones posted in that area? I mean, I don't know what signs are posted in that area.
Madam Mayor, I'm sure that we do. I don't remember off the top of my head without actually going up there and verifying, but nonetheless, it is a school zone because there is a school there.
Yeah.
And I'll let our traffic officer know about that complaint because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So
Thank
quite
you so
frankly.
much. Okay. Any other council business for good of the order? Okay. Then we'll end this meeting at 6:58 p.m.